I'm creating a playlist. And it's sitting right here in front of me. Written many years ago. Now, just crawling up out of the dirt to show itself to me and saying, I want to live again. And it's on this. It's from the complete works of Nietzsche, Volume 12. This is Beyond Good and Evil. It's one people have heard of. It's one I needed to read just so I would know what people are talking about and know when they're wrong, know when they're right, and try to make my own line of reasoning based upon what's here and what's there. You've seen it in videos before. This book, you know, I'm a book thief. There was another copy of it. It's not like somebody wasn't going to be able to do their work, check it out for a paper, and then forget all about it. There's still a chance for somebody to check it out, do a paper, and forget all about it, but I held this dear, and I decided I needed to hold it forever. It's got my notes in there. This is what we're getting to. This is where the playlist comes from. I wrote it in pencil so I could erase it all, or they could when I returned it. But then I had so much written in here that it was kind of not possible for me to return it. Look, there's more. They've got pages to write on. What are you supposed to do? You write on them. But looking at these notes, sometimes I pick this book and I just drag it out. Okay, 85.67, love to one. You go, okay, what is that? 85 page. I'm not really gonna go through it. I might. I didn't mean to put you through all this. I won't. So I decided I'm going to start looking at the notes that I wrote, because I believe there are people that say you should never write in a book. And I say that's wrong. I mean, I follow it to a certain degree. I have pieces of paper with notes on them of what's going on in there. And if there's any highlighting you see in here, that's not me. I was using pencil so you could erase it. But when I finish a book, I like to go back and read all the notes that I made in the beginning, because through it, as you learn more, you come to understand the rights and the wrongs of how you were seeing something there. At the very least, it reminds you of what you read in the time you were spending reading it. It's a refresher. Everybody knows if you've learned something and forgotten something, it takes you half as long, fractional amount of time to relearn it, even though it's been forgotten. So you finish the book, you go back, you read it again, and boom, it's cemented. You get to make all the connections between all the words and all the thoughts and prayers. So I just decided I'm gonna start reading these things. This is the playlist. It's Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, Complete Works, Volume 12, and my notes on it. So the first thing I see when I wrote it, because I haven't read all this stuff in the longest time, the notes and everything, I open it up, and here it is. And remember, I just spoke of Noam Chomsky with a Y. He's not Polish. As a linguist who will one day be known as a philosopher. And right here, what I just looked at, it supports what I said. It's furtherance of my reality. Nietzsche, as a philosopher, would be just that. Absolutely. And that, I don't see him as considering his understandings to be an endpoint. In that, I don't see him as considering his understandings to be an endpoint, himself to be an endpoint, rather a stepping stone, which others whom understand could use for traversing toward the path, toward the truth, toward reality. I don't believe he would want us to forget what others have said, what others will do. These and those should be used as reminders of what didn't work, of what can only be regrettable. Nietzsche as a philosopher would be just that, absolutely. In that, I don't see him as considering his understandings to be an endpoint, himself to be an endpoint, rather a stepping stone which others who understand could use for traversing toward the truth, toward reality. I don't believe he would want us to forget what others have said, what others will do. These and those should only be used as reminders of what didn't work, of what can only be regrettable. These are one person's notes on Beyond Good and Evil.